Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a little over a month since my last video, and I'm gonna talk a little about why in today's video. This is not gonna be a video for everybody. That is why I put a trigger warning in the very beginning. Please heed that warning. Especially if you're someone who struggles with topics like what I'm going to discuss in today's video. Also, please excuse my t-shirt. I'm actually in the baby's room right now and I'm trying to reorganize all her stuff because she's got a lot of stuff here, and I also keep my books in here, which is down here, just so when I'm sitting in here with her I have something to do when she's going to sleep. So I'm trying to reorganize things but I kind of wanted to just get everything out in the open and leave it in this video and be done with it and move on with my life after this and try to be in a more positive state of mind, because while I have been struggling with a lot of really deep, dark things lately, I'm actually quite proud of myself because I haven't allowed myself to get consumed by these deep, dark things, in the sense that I'm not letting it run my life. I just actually went out to a Diplo concert, as you can see right here. When I met you in the summer.
I want to see those hands like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, then let's go.
That was just the appetizer for what's going to be an amazing 3-4 days in Las Vegas for EDC. I leave on the 16th, which is next Thursday. So almost like exactly a week from now I'll be leaving. So I'm super excited to go and just have fun for a few days and take a break. But I'm excited. I can't lie. I am excited to go and, like I said, have fun and just take my mind off of all the negativity that I've been exposed to in the last month. I would say even the last year. And I'm gonna talk about last year as well, because I had a lot of people DMing me over the last year that I've been separated from my ex, asking me for advice on how I got through things, signs and things like that. And the number one thing I can tell you right now, the biggest sign that I want you to pay attention to is just the fact that you asked me for signs is a sign. Because if things were good, you wouldn't be looking for confirmation. You wouldn't be going on to YouTube. You wouldn't be going on to Google. I think you already know that things aren't the way they should be, and that should be your first red flag. So pay attention to that. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I have been taking this last month for self-reflection, trying to get through what I've been through a few weeks ago. Things have not been easy. They've been pretty rough for me. The first thing I want to talk about is what happened last year. I'm going to try to make this as short as possible because this is not the focal point of today's video, but it has been a topic that has been requested for me to talk about. Not really out in public. It's been more in DMs. I've gotten a lot of DMs about the situation. DMs from people who are asking me for tips on how to get away from, abusive relationships and things like that. And I'll just tell you guys right now, the best thing I can tell you is to, if it's possible, wait until the person that you are afraid of or running away from is away for however long. Hopefully it's a full day of work or something and you're just left at home. Pack your stuff and go. It's gonna hurt. It hurts like hell when it does happen, and it's gonna hurt for a while, especially when you spend so much time with that person. But you do not deserve to live in fear with someone that you love. You shouldn't have to be afraid when you're in love with someone. If it's really, truly good love, you don't need to be afraid of someone. You shouldn't be afraid of someone hitting you or speaking down to you. I don't care what the issue is. You don't deserve that. So if you are in that kind of a situation, the best thing I can tell you to do is find your moment, plan for it, get ready for it, and when it comes, take it and leave. Before I go any further, baby is in her pack and play, so you may hear babbling. She is talking now. She says predominantly mama and tata for her tia Christy and tia Kati. So that's her favorite things to say is tata and mama. Sometimes she says dada, not often, but she's playing around with like little mixed mumbles and stuff like that. So she's trying to talk, so if you hear her, I can tell you right now, guys, you don't deserve to live with someone or be with someone who does nothing but shit on you and make you feel like shit about yourself constantly, day in and day out. You don't deserve to be hit. You don't deserve to be punched or pushed. You don't deserve any of that shit. So if you are in that kind of a situation and you find yourself in a time where it's safe to do so, remove yourself from the situation and do something better for yourself, because you deserve better than that. You deserve real love, true love. That's not true love. So the number one question I was asked was why I went from moving from New York to Florida and then from Florida back to New York in a matter of, I want to say it was like 3 or 4 or 5 months, if that. We had gotten to Northwest Florida on March 1st or 2nd of last year, and by June 22nd, I was already on a plane back to New York. And so the reason why I never told anyone this is because I was living with my father at the time. I wasn't living there with him, but that's where I was staying temporarily. I had other things in the works as far as living on my own somewhere here. But I was staying with him, and actually, I want to say like the second week of June, I was out at lunch with family, and we were planning what would have been Aurora's baby shower for my friends and family. In the middle of lunch, I got a notification on my phone on Instagram, and it said that I had been tagged in a series of photos. So it was kind of weird because I had not been on Instagram at that point. Keep in mind, this is June. I hadn't been on Instagram since like February, like late January. So there was no one that I was expecting pictures from or interactions from or nothing. Like, my Instagram app had been silent for months up until this point. So that was a little weird. So I obviously log on to Instagram to see what's going on and what the pictures are. And the first picture is a picture of a beach, or like a small part of a beach. And it looks familiar. And I was like, okay. Didn't know who the person was. Had no idea who this person was at all. Didn't know the name. Didn't know anything about this person, but the beach looked familiar. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I swipe, because I'm tagged in multiple pictures and then a video. The next picture is of my ex with this new female. And the profile that tagged me in these pictures belonged to said female. And the last thing I was tagged in was a video of these two in the car that my ex had told me that he got for our family, our growing family. And they were in this car, and she was leaning into him and smiling and everything. And he looked like uncomfortable. It was cringy to watch because you could tell he was not into it, but she was like still forcing the issue. And so when I saw these pictures and this video, I remember just, I lost it. This was done out of malice. This was by far the most vindictive thing that has ever been done to me. They knew what they were doing when they tagged me in these pictures and videos. Now keep in mind, like I said, I'm at this point, I want to say like 4, 5, almost 5 months pregnant. And so stress is not good, especially for someone like me who was a high risk or considered high risk at first. It's not good to add stress on to someone who has a high risk pregnancy. And so I remember just running to the bathroom and bawling my eyes out, and I just left. I didn't have any patience for anybody else, didn't have the desire to be around anyone. I wanted to be at home in my bed, in my room, crying. So that's what I did. I finally got to the point where my father had gotten home, and I told him, I was like, I need to leave. I was not in a good place mentally after this. And actually, when I told my ex about what happened, who do you think he believed? It wasn't me. He called me a psychopath. He said that it wasn't true, that I was trying to start problems. But I have no reason to start problems with someone that I have no idea exists. I had no idea what this person's name was, didn't know what their profile name was until this whole thing happened. I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I had no clue who this person was until I was tagged in these pictures. You can't just go on Instagram and have no idea of a person's name or profile name on Instagram and find them. It doesn't work like that. You need to know these kind of things. So no, I didn't go searching for this, and I wouldn't do that, number one, because that's damaging to me. This person purposefully tagged me in these pictures and videos with the sole intent of totally crushing me, and it did. I will admit, it did. I needed to get away from him as humanly possible, as far away from him as I possibly could. And if that meant skipping town to be away from him, I would do whatever it took, because he clearly did not give a shit about what happened to me or the child when he kicked me out of that house to make room for this, whoever this female was who drove down from Kansas to be with him after only a few days. Supposedly, this was the lie I was told. After only a few days of knowing each other online, she decided to drive down and be with him. And he kicked me out and told me that he already made plans with her to move in. So I didn't really care about how he felt about me leaving, because in doing what he had done, it had shown that he didn't care about the kid either. So I needed to go and do what was best for me so that my daughter could be taken care of and happy. And so I left. I went back to New York, and I don't regret it. I would do it every single time over and over again if given the opportunity to. It was the best decision for me and her at the time, and I'm so glad that I did it. The end game for Aurora and I is not here. My goal is to eventually, in the next year, I want to buy a house. But I want to buy a house somewhere up north, whether it be northeast, going back to what I'm used to, or out west in the Pacific Northwest. I am at peace and I'm happier in the mountains, in a country setting where it's safe and quiet and it's peaceful and tranquil. I need that, you know, and I want her to grow up in that kind of environment. That's what I've always wanted for her. And I always told my ex that's what I wanted for her. I couldn't wait to have a family with him so we could raise our kids where he was from, because it's beautiful there. It is. So I don't see myself staying here for longer than another year. I've actually already started looking at places in Colorado. Out in that area, I found a couple places in Portland, Oregon, or like around the outside of Portland, Oregon. I've looked at Washington State. I just find myself being drawn to that kind of area, you know? And even New York. There are tons of places in New York that I've always had my eye on, and you know, honestly, where I'm at now, I'm doing a lot better, you know, financially. So I know I can do a down payment, and I know I can buy a house. I know I can do it. So I want to make sure that over the next year I am taking care of myself, taking care of her, but also putting away little by little, at least enough to put a down payment on a house so I can move into our own house where it's our home. And that is my goal for myself and my daughter for the next year. So now for what has happened over the last month. This is the reason why I put the trigger warning in the beginning of this video. Last month was the hardest month I think I've ever gone through. And that says a lot because, like I said, this time last year I was kind of in a similar situation, except it was me going through it. I was in a place mentally where I just did not care what happened to me, which is very selfish because this little one right here was growing inside of me. And it took her moving for the first time and me feeling her move for the first time to wake my ass up and make me realize I have someone who is depending on me. I cannot not care about what I put into my body, or what I don't put into my body. And I don't mean like drugs. I wasn't doing drugs, but like I wasn't eating as much. I didn't care about that. I at one point was eating like a couple of grapes a day and drinking a ton of water just to suffice and get by. But other than that, I didn't care. I just stayed in bed all day and slept because I was so depressed. This situation that I went through last month was traumatizing for me because I've never been faced with something this dark in my entire life so far, ever. I've never dealt with this before in my life. So what happened was, things have not been easy for someone in my life that I'm close to. They were not easy for this person in the last few months, and I was worried about them. Everyone was, and things kind of just came to a head exactly a month ago, yesterday actually, on the 7th. I walked in on this person attempting to take their own life. And this person thankfully has sought out professional help. They are doing so much better with counseling and medication, luckily. But I haven't been able to deal with it myself. I still think about what I saw often, very often actually, every single night, because it happened at night. It started at night, it happened the next day. The screaming that I heard the night before, I haven't been able to get out of my head. I just, it's been very rough. And I just, once that happened, you guys, I just couldn't focus on a YouTube video or posting to Twitter or posting to Instagram or anywhere. I was just so overcome with sadness. It was overwhelming. It was all I could think about for a very long time. And it still affects me to this very day. And that's the reason why I put on Twitter, check on your happy friends. Check on people who you know are going through a hard time. Be there for people. Be kind to people. And I know that I haven't been the kindest person in the last few years that I've gotten involved in the drama community. I know that. And trust me, I've taken this time to self-reflect on myself. While I've been gone, like I said, I'm doing some self-reflection. And I want to do better for myself. And I know the first step of making myself a better person is removing any and all negativity out of my life. So I did a huge Facebook purge. And I mean huge. I got rid of over half of the people that I had on there, because they were just people, number one, I didn't talk to anymore. People that were just constantly bitching and complaining on Facebook about their stuff, putting up personal fights between spouses, and it was too much. So anybody and everybody that didn't bring joy to my life, because I've also been getting into that Marie Kondo show, I forgot what it's called, on Netflix, and she says in that show, if it doesn't bring you joy, get rid of it. So I applied that way of thinking to my life personally, and I started with social media, and I did a social media cleanse. Anybody who did stuff like that, I unfollowed them. I wish no negativity upon them. I wish them nothing but success, and I hope they all thrive in whatever they choose to do with their lives or channels if they're YouTubers. I want them to succeed, and I want them to have the best in life. I just don't find them to be beneficial in my life as far as positivity, I should say. And I'm gonna work on myself, because I know I could be a hell of a lot more positive. But this situation that I went through in the last month has definitely made me sit down and think, and really think about what I choose to put out into the world. And I'm not trying to sit here and say you cannot have bad days where you have, a terrible mood. No, that would be terrible of me and so hypocritical of me to say that, because we all have bad days. We do. We all have bad days, and we're allowed to have those bad days. But there are people, and I used to be one of them, who go out of their way to be mean, who go out of their way to be negative all the time about everything. And it's just exhausting to see that every single day. And it's exhausting from experience, I can tell you. It's exhausting to be negative all the time. And I understand people love when people are negative in some aspects, you know, when it comes to cancel culture and whatever. You know, people love negativity. They thrive off of it sometimes. I can't be that person. I don't have the emotional capacity to be negative all the time, especially when I have someone watching me and depending on me to show them to be a better person, because I want her to be so much better than what I was to people. I want that for her, because the world deserves better people. And if I can raise a better person, then that's my job to do that and introduce my better person into the world to create hopefully other better people and influence people to be better. It's been rough, like I said. It's been very, very rough for me. I am actively seeking counseling again to hopefully deal with everything once and for all. But I do miss making content. I do. And I have a lot of exciting things. I have new palettes to show you guys. Ipsy actually put me on their PR list, which is insane. I'm so excited. So I have videos about Ipsy coming up for you guys. Just different things I'm so excited for. And like I said, in a few days' time, I'm going to EDC Las Vegas for the very first time. I am stoked, so stoked on that. So things have been rough, but they're getting better. And I want this video to be the last video in which I talk about things like this. I want this to be the garbage can, the proverbial garbage can, where I leave all this negativity in it and I don't talk about it again. It's out in the open. If you are someone who is struggling mentally, or if you need someone to talk to, I don't care if you make a throwaway account. I don't care. I don't care. Reach out to me. I know a lot of people on, you know, these various platforms will say, you know, check on your happy friends, check on these people, check on this people, and they say, you know, I'm here for you if you need it. I mean it. I wholeheartedly 1000% mean what I say. I don't want anyone to feel like they have no one to talk to. I am here. Make a throwaway account and talk to me. If you need someone to listen to, just tell me. I will listen to you. I will be that sponge that takes the negativity away from you if it means giving you even a moment of peace in your head, because I know how exhausting it is to have all that stress just floating around because you don't feel like you can get it out to anyone. You don't trust anybody. Maybe perhaps a stranger can do that for you. So if I can help you in any way, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. My Twitter, you can message me there. My Instagram, everything will be linked down below. I will be happy to be here for you. So with that being said, guys, that's it. That's all I have to say. If you wish to continue the conversation, please DM me. Do whatever you need to do to get a hold of me. I'm here. I will do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. Obviously, I'm a mother full time, and I do have other things that take up my time throughout the day as well. So I will do my best to answer everyone in a timely manner, but please understand that I do have other things to take care of first. But I do want to be there for you and be a better person and be a better influence on people if I can do that on my channel and various social media platforms. So that being said, guys, I'm done. I'm going to try to move forward in a positive way. I'm going to seek help. I'm going to get the help I need to move past what happened last month, because it is still haunting me, unfortunately. But I'm going to be okay. I've made it to this point in my life, and I will persist and I will keep going. So I love you guys. Stay strong. I don't know who needs to hear that, but stay strong. And if you need someone to talk to, please, like I said, reach out to me. Don't hesitate to. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Talk to you guys later. Bye.